What do you mean by ratio? A ratio is a relationship between the same quantity. What do you mean by this inverse ratio? If you have a ratio in P by Q form, then Q by P is called inverse ratio. I said it is a relationship of same kind. So here we are comparing their salary in terms of ratios. A ratio of greater inequality is one in which the value of antecedent is greater than value of consequent. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to one and all. This is your Shruti ma'am lecturing in Vidyashram, the Temple of Excellence, Mysore. I welcome you to the new session of the chapter Ratios and Proportion. So let us see what are the concepts we will be discussing in this session. In today's session, I'll be introducing to the concept of ratios and we will be learning about different types of ratios. Then, what do you mean by ratio? A ratio is a relationship between the same quantity. That is, if there are two quantities A and B, then any ratio can be expressed in terms of fraction or A is to B. You can read it as A is to B. This is nothing but two numbers expressed in fraction. So any number in this form is nothing but two numbers in fraction form, that is A by B. So in A by B, suppose you have a fraction like P by Q, that is nothing but, so P by Q. In the ratio you also can written this in the form P is to Q. If this is the form of writing ratio, we call P as antecedent and Q as consequent. So remember the word antecedent and consequent. So a ratio is nothing but the relationship between two quantities of same kind. And the notation to write the ratio is A is to B or A by B, where A is called antecedent and B is called consequent. So here we have an example. Let me take, if 2 by 3 is the ratio, find the antecedent and consequent. So clearly you can say any ratio in the form of P by Q, where P is called antecedent and Q is called consequent. So what is antecedent here? So your antecedent for this ratio is 2 and consequent is 3. Next we have, if 3 is to 5 is a ratio, find the antecedent and consequent. So 3 is to 5 is nothing but 3 by 5. So therefore, what is your antecedent? That is 3, and your consequent is 5. Next, X get salary of rupees 15,000, Y gets salary of rupees 5,000. Find the ratio of their salary. I said that ratio is a relationship between the same quantity. So here we have to write or we have to express the salary of X and Y in terms of ratio. So I said it is a relationship of same kind. So here we are comparing their salary in terms of ratios. So therefore, X gets salary of 15,000 rupees and Y gets salary of 5,000 rupees. If I write them in terms of ratio, that is 15,000 divided by 5,000. So that is X by Y I am taking. So X by Y is nothing but 15,000 by 5,000. So you can cancel the zeros with 3. So this is nothing but 3 by 1. So therefore, the ratios of salaries of X and Y is 3 is to 1. That is, you can say X's salary is 3 times more than Y. Next, we have some rules related to ratio, or we can call it as the types of ratio. In that, first we come across inverse ratio. What do you mean by this inverse ratio? If you have a ratio in P by Q form, then Q by P is called inverse ratio. For example, if your ratio is 2 by 3, then the inverse of ratio is 3 by 2. If your ratio is 1:6, then the inverse of this ratio is 6:1. Question number 4, we have find the inverse ratio of 4:5. So 4:5 is nothing but 4 by 5. So what is the inverse ratio of 4 by 5? That is 5 by 4, which is equal to 5:4. You can write directly as 5:4. Next we have a question. A house consumes 30 kgs of wheat and 4 kg of sugar. Compare the consumption of wheat and sugar in the form of a ratio. So what I'll do here, I'll write first, this is in a fraction form. So let me write wheat and in the denominator I'll take sugar. I have to write the consumption of these two and compare them in the form of ratio. So that's why first I have written in the fraction form. So wheat is 30 kgs and sugar is 4 kg. Remember, when you're comparing in the ratio, the units must be same. So here both have kgs, so I can compare them and write this in units. Whether if you have gram or kilogram, you have to convert both into kilograms or both into grams. Whenever they have same units, you can write it directly in the form of a ratio. So you can clearly see here, this is 15 divided by 2. So therefore, I can write in the ratio, that is consumption of wheat and sugar in the ratio form is wheat is to sugar, that is equal to 15:2. So this is your answer. Next question. Mr. X completes the job in 3 hours and Mr. Y completes the same job in 45 minutes. Compare their performances. I already said you, when you are comparing the same quantities, units of measurement must be same. For example, in our previous case, wheat as 15 kg and sugar as 4 kg. The unit of measurement was kg for both. But here, X completes job in 3 hours they have given, and here Y completes the same job in 45 minutes. So one is in hours, another one is in minutes. So better you convert 2 of them into hours or 2 of them into minutes. So let me convert 3 hours into minutes. So X completes the job in 3 hours. So that means 3 into 60 minutes, that is 180 minutes. And Y completes the same job in 45 minutes. Now you have the unit of measurement as minute for both. So therefore, if I write X by Y, what happens here? It is 180 divided by 45. So you can write this as 4 divided by 1. So therefore, the ratio X is to Y is equal to 4:1. Next, we have a second type of ratio called ratio of greater inequality. What does this ratio of greater inequality says? A ratio of greater inequality is one in which the value of antecedent is greater than value of consequent. We know that whenever we have written in a fraction form, that is 3:2, you can see 3 is your antecedent and 2 is your consequent. Here, according to the definition, the value of antecedent is greater than the value of consequent. So therefore, this is an example for ratio of greater inequality. Similarly, 5:4 you can consider because the antecedent 5 is greater than the consequent 4. So whenever your antecedent value is greater than the consequent value, this is a ratio of greater inequality. The same type we have ratio of lesser inequality. That means the value of your antecedent must be less than the value of your consequent. See here, the value of antecedent is lesser than the value of consequent. So you can see here 2:3, 2 is less than 3, 4:5, 4 is less than 5. This is an example for ratio of lesser inequality. Next, we have a compound ratio. So what do you mean by a compound ratio? Whenever you have more than one fraction, let me take A by B and P by Q. Multiplication of all antecedent terms in the numerator and consequent terms in the denominator gives you the compound ratio. That is A by B into P by Q. So multiply A into P and B into Q. So this is what compound ratio. So what is compound ratio? This is the one of the ratio which is obtained by multiplying antecedent term with the antecedent term and consequent term to the consequent term. So which will gives rise to one more ratio. For example, I'll take one ratio 2:3 and 3:1. If I write this, it is in the form of 2 by 3. This is in the form of 3 by 1. Multiply both 2 by 3 into 3 by 1. So this is 6 by 3, which is nothing but 3 by 1. Again, this is nothing but 3:1. So this is nothing but your compound ratio. So a compound ratio is obtained by multiplying two or more ratios. Here we have a question. Find the compound ratio of 3:5 and 4:7. So we have to multiply 3:5 and 4:7. So let me multiply, convert this into fraction form. 3 by 5 into 4 by 7. So 3 4s are 12. 5 7s are 35. So this is again 12:35. So this is a compound ratio. Next we have find the compound ratio of 1:2, 2:3, 3:5. Multiply all the ratios. So 1 by 2, 2 by 3, 3 by 5. So whenever you have a common terms, you can cancel 2, 2, 3, 3. So your answer is 1 by 5. So therefore, what is your compound ratio? 1:5. Next, determine the compound ratio of 6:1 by 3, 1 by 3:3, 5:3, 7:8. So 6:1 by 3 can be written as 6 over 1 by 3 into here 1 by 3 divided by 3 into 5 by 3 into 7 by 8. Clearly you can cancel 1 by 3, 1 by 3 because one is in the numerator, another one is in the denominator. Here again 3 1s are, 3 2s are, you can cancel. Again 2 1s are, 2 4s are, you can cancel. All the terms of these two terms are cancelled. So remaining terms we have 5 7s are 35, 3 4s are 12. So now what is your ratio? 35:12. So this is your compound ratio. Next we have one more type of ratio called duplicate ratio. What do you mean by duplicate ratio? A duplicate ratio is one which is obtained by taking square of the ratio. So here I have taken an example 3:4. So to get a duplicate ratio, you are supposed to take square on both sides. When you take square on both sides, what happens? It is 3 square is to 4 square, which is 9:16. So this is your duplicate ratio. Similarly, we have a sub-duplicate ratio. In duplicate ratio, you will square the given ratio. In sub-duplicate ratio, you will take the square roots of the given ratio. Square roots of the given ratio. I have taken an example of 4:9. So taking square roots on both sides, it is root 4 is to root 9. So your value is 2:3. So this is how we will get sub-duplicate ratio. Next we have triplicate ratio. What do you mean by this triplicate ratio? A triplicate ratio is one which is obtained by taking cube of given ratio. You are supposed to take cubes of the given ratio. Here I have taken an example 1:3. Take cube on both sides. So therefore it is 1 cube is to 3 cube. What is 1 cube? 1. 3 cube? 27. So this new ratio is called triplicate ratio. Next, in the same way, we have subtriplicate ratio. Subtriplicate ratio is obtained by taking the cube roots of given ratio. So, I have taken an example of 8:27. So, 8:27. Take cube roots on both sides. So, here cube root of 8 is to cube root of 27. What is cube root of 8? It is 2. What is cube root of 27? It is 3. So, this new ratio obtained by taking cubes of given ratio is nothing but subtriplicate ratio. We will take few problems on this. Find the duplicate ratio of 5:4. So, how you will get a duplicate ratio? By taking the square of the given ratio. So, we have 5:4. Square on both sides. So, 5 square is 4 square, which is 25:16. So, this is your duplicate ratio. Next, we have find the triplicate ratio. So, triplicate means you should cube the given ratio. So, therefore, you have a ratio 3:5. Cubing them, you will get 3 cube is to 5 cube. So, therefore, your triplicate ratio. So, your triplicate ratio is 3 cube is equal to 27. 5 cube is 125. Next, we have to find the subduplicate ratio of 9:49. How you will get the subduplicate ratio? By taking the square roots of the given ratio. What is my given ratio? That is 9:49. So, take square roots for the ratio, that is root of 9 is to root of 49. So, therefore, my subduplicate ratio is, what is square root of 9? It is 3. What is square root of 49? It is 7. So, this is the answer. Next, we have find the subtriplicate ratio of 125:64. How we will get subtriplicate ratio? By taking cube roots of given ratio. What is my given ratio? 125:64. Take cube roots on both sides. So, cube root of 125 is to cube root of 64. So, therefore, my subtriplicate ratio is, what is cube root of 125? It is 5. What is cube root of 64? It is 4. Hence, my subtriplicate ratio is 5:4. Next, we have a question. Find the value of x if 5:20 is equal to 3:x. So, here they have given two ratios are equal. So, let me express this in the fraction form. We have 5:20 is equal to 3:x. If I express this in fraction form, I'll get this as 5/20 is equal to 3/x. So, cross multiply. So, you will get 5x is equal to 60. So, x is equal to 60/5. So, therefore, we get x is equal to 12. So, this is how we find an unknown value when given two ratios are equal. So, all these questions and the definitions of ratio and their types are very important for 1 marks question in your examination. The chapter ratios and proportion contains 11 marks in your examination question paper. So, these are all the questions which can be asked for 1 marks. We'll meet you in the next session by taking few more problems on ratios, and we'll move on to the proportions later. Keep watching, keep learning, and keep exploring. Thank you.